Imagine a future where your Galaxy phone no longer has that chunky camera bump sticking out of the back. Sounds good, right? Well, Samsung might just be working on the tech to make that happen, and it could also reshape how XR devices like smart glasses are built. But here's the twist: the solution doesn't come from shrinking sensors or batteries. It's all about a radical rethink of the lens itself. Samsung, in collaboration with researchers at POSTECH, has been experimenting with something called metalenses. Instead of relying on the thick, curved glass lenses we're used to, metalenses are ultra-thin, flat structures that control light using microscopic patterns etched on their surface. Think of it like sculpting light with nanostructures instead of bending it with bulky glass. The result? Lenses that are not only much thinner, but also potentially lighter, stronger, and easier to mass produce. Now, why does this matter for smartphones? Because the camera bump has become one of the most stubborn design issues in modern phones. Every year, sensors get bigger, optics demand more space, and manufacturers stack on larger modules, making that bump stick out even further. Some people don't mind it, but others see it as a design flaw. If metalenses can do the same job with less bulk, Samsung could finally flatten that bump, giving us sleeker phones without sacrificing camera quality. But here's where things get even more interesting. The researchers behind this breakthrough didn't just show off a concept for phone cameras. They actually built a working infrared eye camera using metalenses. This camera was designed for XR devices, the kind of gear used for virtual or mixed reality. Compared to a traditional version, the new metalens camera was 20% thinner, shrinking from 2.0 millimeters down to just 1.6. That may not sound like much, but in a headset that sits on your face, every fraction of a millimeter counts. It means lighter devices, less bulk pressing on your nose, and ultimately more comfortable wear over longer sessions. Up until now, making metalenses practical was a huge challenge. The traditional approach required delaying light by a full wavelength, which meant building these insanely tall and fragile nanostructures, millions of them for each lens. Not only were they tricky to manufacture, but they also broke easily and weren't really suited for the mass production a company like Samsung would need. The new method changes the game by only delaying light by 2/3 of a wavelength. That small tweak keeps the optical performance just as sharp but makes the structures shorter, sturdier, and much easier to produce at scale. Translation: Samsung might actually be able to build these things in real products, not just in a lab. So, could the next Galaxy S phone launch without a camera bump? It's possible, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is still very early research. Even the article points out that there's no urgency for Galaxy phones to slim down their bumps, especially when other devices, like the Vivo X200 Ultra, make Samsung's bumps look modest by comparison. That said, the technology clearly has potential beyond just smartphones. If it works well for XR headsets, it could easily scale into other categories, from laptops with face recognition cameras to wearables with tiny sensors. And here's the bigger picture: this isn't just about looks, it's about performance and practicality. Imagine XR glasses that don't feel like bricks on your face because the cameras inside them are thinner and lighter. Imagine future phones where you can slip them flat on a table without wobbling, but still get incredible zoom and portrait shots. Metalenses could even make cameras cheaper to produce, lowering costs for premium features. The question is whether Samsung wants to be first in making this leap, or if they'll wait until the tech matures further. History tells us they're not afraid to experiment, from foldable phones to under-display cameras, so a metalens-equipped Galaxy device doesn't sound out of character. Personally, I think the real impact here will start with XR smartphone. Bumps may not bother everyone, but in headsets, comfort is everything. If Samsung can deliver lighter, sleeker, and more reliable tracking cameras, it could be a game changer for the next wave of mixed reality devices. And once the production kinks are ironed out, that's when we might see metalenses trickle down into the phones in our pockets. So while your next Galaxy phone might not immediately lose its camera bump, the research Samsung is doing today could lay the foundation for a very different kind of mobile and XR design in the near future. Sometimes, the most meaningful changes don't come from faster chips or bigger batteries, but from rethinking the tiny lenses that quietly shape how we see the world through our devices. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.